This course was developed by Neil Chester and made with love for website owners like you. Show your support by liking, sharing, donating, or purchasing a service. Links are in the description box. Today, most professional web designers and premium website templates adhere to established design principles. However, in some cases, you may be presented with design suggestions or decide to make design changes that, unknowingly, harm your website's usability. We want to prevent that. This video will help you spot poor web design so you can avoid undermining your credibility and frustrating your website visitors. Here are 5 research-backed web design mistakes that still haunt websites today. Let's get started. Number 1. Visual overload. Visual overload and a lack of hierarchy are recurring problems in modern design. The websites you see are extreme examples of this problem. This happens when designers overcompensate for what they might consider to be boring minimalism by cramming pages with too many loud colors, complex animations, and competing calls to action. Some designers think every space on the screen needs to be filled. They use too many bold fonts or bright colors, so nothing stands out. They think everything is important, placing 3 different buy now or sign up buttons in the hero section. If everything is screaming, nothing is heard. When a customer visits a website, their brain tries to rank the importance of elements in milliseconds. If your headline, your logo, your buy now button, and a bright background image all compete for the same level of attention, the user experiences something called cognitive overload. Cognitive overload occurs when the brain receives too much information, exceeding the limited capacity of working memory. This leads to mental exhaustion, confusion, difficulty processing, and impaired decision-making, often resulting in frustration or information paralysis. To solve this, visual hierarchy is key. Visual hierarchy is the strategic arrangement of design elements to indicate their relative importance and guide the viewer's eye through a composition. It acts as an invisible GPS, ensuring the most critical message is understood first, followed by supporting details. Here's an example of visual hierarchy, as explained by Alvalin Lundgren of Alvalin Creative. Number 2. Hero carousels. A hero carousel is a large, prominent slideshow at the top of a homepage that rotates through multiple full-width images, titles, and calls to action to showcase key content such as promotions, features, or events. You shouldn't use hero carousels because they distract users from your message, reduce engagement. Often only the first slide is seen. They slow down your pages, harming SEO. They cause accessibility issues for screen readers. And they create banner blindness, where people ignore them as ads. Avoid using hero carousels, even if your favorite websites use them. Instead, use a static hero section on the homepage with compelling copy and a strong supporting image. It's important to note that carousels and sliders are not inherently poor web design elements. They are simply misplaced in a homepage's hero section. Check out shouldIuseacarousel.com for a humorous take on this subject of hero carousels. Number 3. Infinite scrolling. Infinite scrolling is a design strategy to keep visitors engaged. Whenever a user reaches the bottom of the page, new content loads automatically. While infinite scroll may seem captivating, it harms your website by slowing load times and making footer content hard to access. This negatively affects the user's experience. Infinite scrolling also impacts search engines. The Google bot can only crawl a web page when it is first loaded. It can't capture dynamic content that appears as you scroll, so new content gets missed. Avoid infinite scrolling. Instead, use pagination that lets users click to navigate to the next page of items. Number 4. Disruptive pop-ups. We've all experienced them. You visit a web page to read an article or browse products, and suddenly a pop-up appears inviting you to join their newsletter or receive 10% off your first order. It's frustrating because all you're interested in is the content. Next, you notice that you can't continue browsing until you close the pop-up, and that's if you can find that tiny close button. There are at least 5 problems with pop-ups. 1. They disrupt the browsing experience. 2. Users learn to ignore them as if they were a banner ad. 3. They frustrate visitors when the close button is hard to find. 4. They can erode credibility when the close button is accompanied by manipulative language like, "No thanks, I hate saving money." 5. Pop-ups can increase bounce rate when visitors quickly leave your page due to annoyance. And a high bounce rate, especially on an e-commerce site, will lower your page ranking in search engines. For these reasons, we don't recommend pop-ups. Instead, we suggest message boxes between the main content. This is how they work. Visitors will scroll your web page and notice the newsletter invite or the 10% off coupon between paragraphs or product listings without being disrupted. If they're interested, they'll take action when they're ready. This type of design doesn't annoy visitors the way a pop-up does. But pop-ups aren't all bad. If you need to use a pop-up, follow these steps. First, you can show a pop-up after users have been on your site for 30 seconds. This gives them time to read the content before they're interrupted. Secondly, you can display a pop-up to users after they scrolled 70% of the page. Third, decrease the pop-up size and move it lower on the screen, ensuring it doesn't block scrolling. Number 5. Lengthy forms. Let's face it, no one enjoys jumping through hoops to start using a new product or service. Lengthy, complicated sign-up forms are a notorious conversion killer, often leading frustrated users to abandon the process altogether. This missed opportunity can seriously stunt your growth. The key is to prioritize collecting only the essential info up front. You can always gather additional details from users later on. The goal is to get them through the door with minimal friction. Also, if you need to include a long form, make it easier to complete by showing only a few fields at a time, adding a progress bar, and enabling pagination. Remember, always test your concepts with your target demographic. We have videos on how it's done. If you have 2 competing design ideas, you can run A/B tests to determine which one meets the intended goal. You can include things you personally like, or that align with your company's brand, but ultimately, your target demographic should approve your design choices. Never approve a design just because it looks good to you and your team. You need data from real users that confirm whether the design works. This concludes this video. Please see this video's description for more information. If you have any questions about the video, please leave a comment or contact us directly.